Judith in Art, Leah Calvillo's final video project for Art History 155F, Western Art History 15th through 20th century. In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 pieces of work that contain imagery of Judith being portrayed as a symbol of female courage and defiance against oppressive male power. As we look at these pieces of work, we'll also be comparing and contrasting the overall appearances and techniques used on the pieces. Caravaggio's Judith beheading Holofernes. This dramatic oil painting was created around 1598 through 1599, so it's dated back to the Baroque art period. The Baroque style of art originated during the late 15th century in Italy. This style is recognized for its tonal intensity, emphasis on light, implied movement, sense of grandeur, and the use of the chiaroscuro technique. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing techniques today. This technique uses high contrast to create a very present, profound atmosphere in dim lit scenes. Caravaggio's Judith beheading Holofernes is a perfect example of this technique being executed. Caravaggio's painting is a depiction of a scene from the Book of Judith, where Judith saves the Israelites by seducing the general Holofernes by getting him extremely drunk. And once Holofernes was intoxicated enough, Judith drew Holofernes' sword as she was approaching him, grabbed him by his hair, and drove his blade straight through his neck. The woman we see standing beside Judith is her maid, waiting eagerly with a sack to put Holofernes in it. In this painting, we see quite a bit of intersecting lines, from the sword going through Holofernes' neck to Judith's arm holding the sword across her chest, down to the other arm pulling down on Holofernes' hair. The overall composition of this piece is so dynamic because we see these illuminated figures caught in the midst of movement. Caravaggio's painting is so emotionally charged, with Judith expressing contentment and slight disgust as she slices into Holofernes' neck, and Holofernes' expression of total shock, fear, and pure agony. The theatrical lighting adds to the dynamicness and overall drama of this piece, making it so intense. Cristofano Allori, Judith with the head of Holofernes. Cristofano Allori was a Florentine Baroque artist that created this piece in around 1577 and 1621 with oil paint on canvas. Compared to Caravaggio's Judith beheading Holofernes, the color palette and imagery we see here is much softer. We also see Judith wearing a slightly puffy and embroidered bright yellow dress with a blue velvet cape with a red lining. Judith's attire here is meant to be a tribute to the city Florence's textile industry. Judith with the head of Holofernes is also Allori's most famous painting to date. In its success, it was widely copied by many artists. What's also interesting about this piece is that it is an autobiographical account of his love affair with Maria de Genovari Mustafari. Apparently things ended badly. Allori painted himself as Holofernes, as we see here, and the maid in the background is actually Maria's mother. Judith with the head of Holofernes by Elisabetta Serrani. Serrani was an Italian Baroque painter and printmaker who based her style on Judith Rani's work. Serrani painted Judith with the head of Holofernes in 1660 with oil paint on canvas. The color palette in the piece is quite simple yet dynamic. On Judith, we see a range of primary colors. On her dress, we see blue, and on her cape, we see red and a yellow lining. Unlike the other 2 paintings we looked at, we see the maid dressed in yellow instead of white. Holofernes' head is also a pale greenish color, almost as if he's been decapitated for a while. After taking a look at these three pieces of work, we can come to the conclusion that they were all created by Italian artists during the Baroque period and are all based on the story of Judith from the book of Judith.